Well, happy Monday to everybody and happy June. This is the kind of the time that we circled on our calendar to get to June in this very difficult time. Today, I wanted to talk to you about an additional fork in the road that you now have. Staying in your lane, and a lot of this stuff is easier said than done when you're a leader. So let's go through about 10 minutes together. I think it's very important. Hope you enjoy this and listen up. I think this will help you out. So it has to be taken every ounce of your leadership, your energy, your time, and really your focus. It's really being tested right now. And I really reach out to you. Again, if you need anything, send me an email. I'm here to talk to you. I've got great board members to talk to you. This is really a fast roller coaster with no seatbelts on it. So I really hope you're taking care of yourself and doing your best to get through the year. I know it's taxing. So I think it's important to talk about what just happened in Minneapolis and the killing of George Flood, because that image is not going to get out of people's mind. And so I think it's very imperative that we talk about it, and you have to do it based on what's good for you locally. I think we're going to get a lot of push from the feds and the state on some things that they want to accomplish, but really it's a local discussion. And to me, I really think smalls do this better than anyone. If you go back and reflect on your mission and your values and what you're doing, that's what I would talk about. Most of you focus on raising civic-minded, educated students, and that you're very caring and loving, and that is what your mission is. I would just express that. I think sometimes we get caught up and start new committees to deal with this. We know our kids. We know what they're saying, what they're doing. We need to continue to have those tough conversations, but we really need to raise civic-minded students. That's what we're doing. That's our mission at SSDA and our members, and that's what you guys are doing. So I wouldn't look the other way. This has been very difficult to watch all this, but it is part of what we deal with in the society that is free and open, and at times it's very frustrating. I think it's best for you to communicate something to your community. I just said I'm not going to dictate what that is for you. You can do that. Hey, I got to go to a graduation in Lucerne Valley. So I committed to that months ago, and I went, and it was breathtaking. It was so wonderful to go. You can see the pictures here of a student on the left who graduated first in his family. You had a child who was a foster kid bringing the American flag on a Mustang, and then you could see how they set it up behind the stadium. It was truly a wonderful event. I really want to thank the entire community there, Peter Livingston and his board, very student-centered, and it reminds us why we exist and do this work at SSDA, but also as educators. Thanks, Lucerne Valley. Okay, let's talk now about the decisions that we normally have are basically two forks in the road. Get up there, you're leading, someone asks you something, there's a solution or two, and you move forward. It's not that way right now. You're being faced with multiple forks in the road, and I'm adding one to this for you because this is what I talked about. There's really four forks in the road, and now there's a fifth added one. I'm going to talk about the fifth one during a crisis that always seems to happen. Remember, the one on the left, your first one, is getting through the year, getting to your graduations, learning as much as you can, building some momentum, getting some ideas, starting to really kind of grasp what all this is. And to me, it's very important that you're really working hard to just really get through and obtain as much information as possible. And then you start to vision what it's going to look like when the kids return. Now, this is where we're all caught up into it. I've said multiple times, slow is better in this one. I think people are trying to write down a script that's going to be perfect right now, but it's going to have to be flexible. It's going to change multiple times, and you're going to have to think differently. There's some great models coming out. We'll have more for you over the next 3 to 4 weeks. But again, you're visioning for that fall. And remember, you've got a big problem. It's what we you don't know what your budget's going to be. It's swinging left from right? From maybe plus 2% with cola to zero cola to minus 10%, minus 14%. So you're leading through a very difficult time. So to make some promises what it's going to look like, I'd hold close to your chest until that budget is actually finalized. Thank you to the Senate for being aggressive and coming up with a budget that is more pro-education. They are saying, hey, we're not going to cut right now. We're going to make sure we don't cut. They need the money to get schools up and running, and then we'll wait to see what the feds do to help fill that gap and worry about that later in September, October. You do have a rainy day fund. Some of you have a big one. Some have a small. Use it strategically and make it towards the students and staff safety. And remember what Brett McFadden always told me, budget is an art, not a science. So there are definitely numbers that come crunching out, and it's how you explain that, how confident you are in those numbers and what you're doing. Ask for help. There are people very skilled in this area. Email me if you need any help on presenting your budget or talking about your budget. Again, the fork on the far right is the actual return. And you're preparing for return of students that really encompasses your faith and trust with your staff, with your community, and with your board. And it's really faith, trust, and your chance to create or not create. You're going to have to make that decision based on what's best for your school district and for you. Again, on the fork on the far right, the fourth fork, it's very imperative not to flip-flop. One thing I learned having dealt with multiple crises is you don't want to poke the bear. And what that means is the parents are the bear, the mother bears of the familia, right? The guardian's the mother bear. And you don't want to poke that bear, so you want to be very positive, forward-thinking, and try not to flip-flop. Don't create panic. Your messaging's got to be very clear, positive. It's okay to talk about some of your fears that you're doing right now, but again, you're going to finalize everything around the second or third week in July. Some people are trying to get ahead of the game to say like they're first, but again, I think that's going to flip-flop, which creates poking the bear. And parents get very frustrated and angry because you're flip-flopping too much. Remember, there's a good chance to flip the fork. There's some things you could take care of during a crisis that you've been wanting to do, whether it's to go to more technology or kind of move schedules around or move teachers around or whatever it takes. You do have a chance to flip the fork and utilize this as an opportunity to get some things done that you've been wanting to do. Now there's this fifth fork, and this is what's happened right now. We have a major United States crisis, right? I found out in dealing with the Camp Fire evacuation of the Oral Dam, there's always seems to be another entity or a fifth fork in the road for you. This one obviously is one of the more intense national ones you'll ever see, but it can be little things like your own health, maybe the health of staff, something else goes wrong. I remember during one of our crises, a water fountain burst and it flooded our building while we were in the middle of a crisis, right? So this happens. This is very predictable. People have been on edge during the COVID. And then there's an awful situation that took place in Minnesota. It's imperative for you to stay in your lane. You have to stay in your lane. You have a huge responsibility coming up in 2 months, and it's easy to get off track. You definitely need to create some space for your staff and you to talk about this, but you need to highlight what your school's doing well. Give yourself some credit, but everything's going to fall on school, so you need to say that you've been dealing with your empathetic, your public service, your civil duty, your civic duty, that you're doing as a leader, and also your school and your teachers are constantly doing. It's an ongoing process, but make sure you stay in your lane. You've got to get kids back during the worst pandemic in the world. So stay in that lane and stay focused on that. You only have so much energy and time. And remember, happy June. Our goal was to get through the left fork first and get through this year. You're doing an amazing job. I'm so proud of all of you. Obviously, the next couple months are going to be really, really challenging, and SSTA is here to help you. Thanks for your time, and again, happy June, happy Monday.